Folks brought some sugar-free desserts. I know they're going to have homemade peach and peppermint and banana and some kind of different, I don't know what all the kind of ice cream they get. Bring whatever you want to. But there's a goal here. We want everybody to get together and love on each other. That's one goal. And another goal is on Sunday evening, we'd like for you to stay and try out Sunday evening church if you'd like to. On Sunday evening, we do something different here. When Jesus fed the 5,000, he told his disciples something really cool. He said, I want you to set them in groups of 100. It's a whole lot easier to feed the sheep when you get them in little groups sometimes. And on Sunday night, we scatter out and we go a little bit everywhere. And we got a small group in this room here that's studying on, where are you guys studying on now? James still or? James, yeah. And then Hebrews over in the fellowship hall, we got a group studying on Hebrews. And then over in the old sanctuary, we got the from out of high school to young family age. And we just have a worship style service for the first part and then have a message every night. And right now we're really focusing on the book of 1 Peter a lot. And so just a lot going on. The youth meet in the back. The kids is down in the back. Everybody's got a place to fit in on Sunday night and just get fed in the Lord. And the nursery's going on there too. So if you would like to stay tonight, if you've never been to a Sunday evening service, you can surely do that. Yes, ma'am. All right, so the youth group's in Genesis on Sunday night right now, and James, and so that's good. So you just come on out and be with us tonight at 5:30. And one thing I want to tell you is, did you know that our God is a really big God? Like, he's a big God. And our church has went through a lot of different blessings over the years. And one of the things that I've prayed about a long, long time is that God would help us get the ministry of Mount Pleasant outside the walls. To just get outside the walls. And God has answered those prayers a lot over the years. I mean, we've took the gospel to town and we've took it to surrounding areas, and we've got to be in a lot of things, tent revivals and evangelistic efforts. But in the last little while, we've got an opportunity to be involved in something and that's even bigger than that. And I know that we've said this a little bit, but we're going to get a report here in a minute. But like a few months ago, our church had the opportunity to invest in helping build a church in one of the most unreached places in the world. Awesome opportunity. I mean, people that when you say Jesus, they say Jesus who? Because they don't know who Jesus is. I'm talking about lost. They just don't, not because they refused him, because they didn't know him as more than anything. They just didn't know his name. And so we got an opportunity, and that church has flourished in a big time way. Unbelievable to me how much God has done there. And also to help in a very dire needed an orphanage. And so our church leaders looked at that as an opportunity to advance the kingdom of God. And so today, our Unreached 4K and Eddie and Emma, they went to Africa back there, and they're going to give us a report today for a few minutes and just talk about what God's doing over there. And I'm excited about that, so y'all make them welcome as they come.
In the back and had blood clots everywhere in all legs, so sometimes I have to sit. Even at Uganda, most of the pictures you'll see, I'm sitting somewhere. But anyway, okay, how about this? Come over here. Now, there we go. Sorry about that. Well, I'm Eddie Young. I am a farmer from Mackville. I am a missionary. And I am a servant and worker and an ambassador for Christ. And my traveling partner here is, you know her. And so anyway, but Emma and I traveled over to Uganda. We went to, we landed there in Tibby, and we had a great trip, didn't we? We had a great trip. Let me tell you a little bit about what we do. Unreached 4K is a group of us. There is basically myself and Emma, Jennifer and Maddie and Grant will be here for the 11 o'clock service. They all live away from here. And none of us go to the same churches except Jennifer and I. And what we do is we picked out a place. Grant did it because Grant's kind of our leader, and then I'm his helper. And we picked out places throughout the world that had no Jesus, that didn't know anything about Jesus. And so we decided on that Bombo area of Uganda is where we decided at. And then we took off. We got started with our program. There was 3 of us went over there. We found a pastor. We began to take off and go. The first run or 2 we made didn't work right. It didn't work right at all. Satan was into the whole deal and really scrambled things up. But then all of a sudden we continue to pray. We continue to put our faith, our trust in the Lord and say, Lord, show us the right way, what we need to do, how we need to do it. And all of a sudden, God brought it all together for us. So over the last 4 years now, we have a church in Nadiji. We have a church in Chibajwe. Can y'all say these words with me? We have a church in Bimbi. And now, with the help of your all's church, we have a church in Patchwa. And so all of these churches are up and running and going. So when you look at the Joshua Project, if you get online and look at the Joshua Project, when you look in that Bombo area, when we first started, it was 0% of Christian people there. Now it's like 3 or 4 or 5%. And it's all because of what Jesus did through us to help to be the ambassadors for Christ. And so anyway, so we're so happy with how things are going, and I go out and I speak. Jennifer and I go speak wherever we can to raise awareness for the need that is over there about Christ. Now, Emma will tell you, Emma, those people are not like us, are they?
No.
Their whole culture, everything is all totally different. So the things that we have here, we just don't understand when they don't have electricity. We don't understand when they don't have running water. We don't understand when they have to walk sometimes maybe miles to get water. And so that's what we've done when our project is the first thing we go in is we try to get a group of people there and meet and get a church started and get a water well going, because that's the most important thing to them in the day, is to get water for the family, and then the next thing is to get food. How many of us have that problem? We don't got that problem, do we? So when we the pictures that you'll see, the things they will glamorize it.
Mm-hmm.
It will kind of glamorize it, and a picture's worth 1,000 words. But until you go with us, and I invite you to come and go, Emma does too, to come and go with us, then you will understand what the situation is over there. We're going to show the video, the first video, and it will be of us at the orphanage. And I haven't talked about the orphanage yet, but after we see the video, then I'll talk to you about the orphanage, and then we're going to let Emma do some talking. And so anyway, we're going to be at the orphanage with all of us. We had a big Bible school. We had, I don't know what all we did. We did games. We did everything in the world there. Then we went over to Patchwa, to the new church. We christened that new church, I guess you would say. The church building was totally full, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Totally full. We had people sitting everywhere. As a matter of fact, the town of Patchwa, I think the whole town was there. And so you'll see that. I don't know if she got the baptisms in or not. We had 50, 60?
I think it was 80.
80. I don't know how many it was. I tell you what, I've had some baptizing experiences, but if I stepped another 5 foot back, the water would have whooshed me right on by, because we were in a river and it was really rolling. And it was not the cleanest river that ever was. So anyway, so I think those things are in there. So when you get ready with the video, y'all ready? Go.
Turn your eyes upon Jesus. Look fully.
Is that the end of it? Yeah, that's the end of it. She, we got the wrong. She sent you the wrong video. Or maybe I did. I couldn't send it because it was too long for me, and I couldn't send it to you. But you all got the gist of everything that was going on, I hope. We had a great time over there. At the end there on the baptisms was a little bit deceptive. I had Maddie and Emma not go with me because I didn't know what the conditions were, and when we got there, I'm glad I didn't, because they wanted to go and help with the baptizing, but I don't know if they could have done it because the river was rushing, and we all had a group of us around holding on to one another to keep from the river washing us away, but we got them all baptized, and so that was the main thing, was getting that job done. Let me tell you a little bit now about the orphanage, SASCU, which is Save Street Children Uganda. And over the last year and a half, they had contacted me and found out that I was over there and that I was a farmer. And so they asked me about coming over and helping them with their farming situation, because the orphanage has been very blessed by God, and they have 80 acres of the best, most dark, fertile soil that you've ever seen. And so anyway, they are raising some corn. For what they are raising is for the orphanage itself, just to support themselves. And I'm really having a tough time making them understand that we can double or triple our acres and bring in more supporting monies for the orphanage itself. But this is something that's been going on over there since I don't know when, and I'm having a tough time making them understand that they only raise enough for 4 months, because that's all they need. Then at the end of the 4 months, they'll figure out what to do about the next crop. And the seasons over there it's the same all the time because it's on the equator. It is about 70 at night, really nice, about 85 in the daytime. It rains 3 months, dry 3 months, rains 3 months, dry 3 months. And so they have 2 really good growing seasons. They can just, and I mean it, as long as it doesn't overly rain, the crops are really good. But anyway, it ended up on the first trip over, when I got over there, I didn't really understand the need. I didn't know what was going on. I saw the children the children have breakfast at 10 o'clock. They have a big cup of hot boiled milk, and they have a big slice of bread. For lunch, they have beans and rice at about 1:30 or 2. At about right before the edge of dark, they have beans and rice again, and some nights they will have a little piece of meat, and maybe they might have matoke, which is ground up bananas in it. Emma was not a matoke fan. No, neither was I. But anyway, that's what the children eat. So I saw the need because we didn't have enough cows. They only had about 3 or 4 cows. So I got on the phone with some of my buddies over here, and I said, hey, look, I need some money. Send me some money. I got to buy some cows. So we bought 4 cows while I was over there, went to a dairy farm out in the middle of the jungle and bought 4 Holstein cows. And so anyway, so we got the milk up. I went to a pig farm. The pig guys there dressed me all up in a big gown and put boots on me and sprayed me all over and took me in, and I bought 2 piggy gilts. And so we got pigs, we got hogs there, and they have enough infrastructure there to house the pigs. The cows stay up all night, the pigs stay up all the time, and we also bought 100 chickens. So we got the chickens, and they have enough chicken space there to house probably 5,000 chickens. And believe it or not, all of these things took place with the buildings and everything back before COVID hit. And when COVID hit, everything just stopped. All flow of money stopped coming into the orphanage. They had nothing. And the director is Innocent, and you'll see him on the next video. Innocent got COVID and had to have one of his lungs taken out, and he has only one lung. So sometimes he's, doesn't have the most air. But anyway, so I got connected with the orphanage, and I started going there. And then I also saw a need in the community for, there are as many as 500 families in the area. It's a farming community in the area there that need Jesus. And so I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but I thought, this is what I'll do. I'll focus on this. The children at the orphanage are stable, aren't they?
They know more about the Bible than we do here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Those children, and in classes, it's Christian school. The school is at the orphanage itself. And when we see the video later on, you'll see all the different buildings. There are several of the buildings, and they are classrooms. The government says they have to have a classroom for each grade. They have to have a teacher for each grade, and they have to have a principal, all on site. If not, then they would all be shipped off and go to a Muslim school, and we certainly didn't want that. So those are really good things to have. But there are also things that cost. We got 8 teachers on staff. We got to pay 8 teachers and a principal. We have a nurse that's there. She's a full-time nurse that's there, Miss Grace, and she takes care of them. They have a horrible problem with malaria and typhoid, because malaria is by that little female mosquito that we don't have a problem with over here, but we have the West Nile, don't we, or something that comes from them. But anyway, malaria is really bad, isn't it? And so anyway, we have the nurse that's on staff right there all the time. Now I'm going to let Emma talk about all of her experiences, and you got it, Emma. Go.
So he first told me to talk about like going up to it. And I had felt led to go on a mission trip and really been praying about it. And they came 2 years ago, I think, and talked. And I prayed about it because it had farming and kids and Jesus, like all my passions. But I prayed, well, Lord, if you want me to go, send me someone to go with. I didn't know that it would be someone I'd never met. But Maddie came along, and so we were fast friends. And so when we went, it was good because she went as the only girl the first time. And she's like, I don't want to do that again. But then there's a situation that came up, and they weren't going to work with kids. And I just thought, well, maybe that's the Lord shutting the door. And I went to the altar and prayed one Sunday. And when I got back in my truck, there's a text saying that we had donated all this Vacation Bible School stuff, and now we're going to put on Vacation Bible Schools everywhere we went. And so that was like, okay, well, that's the fast answer, but it was still so hard and so scary. But when I got there, I mean, I was still out of my comfort zone, but I don't know. Like, I had this unexplainable peace. I fell in love with all the people. The kids at the orphanage were so sweet. We did tie-dye. What else do we do?
We did the
Face
parachute,
paint.
the parachute thing. Y'all saw the parachute. Mm-hmm. What they did. They went nuts with that.
Oh,
parachute.
I taught them how to do that, and they had never seen it. And we got to teach at the orphanage. We had 2 Vacation Bible School days. The first day, everyone came from the community, and I think you could see in the video, there's actually some Muslim children who came, which was really neat. Because I don't think that they accepted a Bible, but they even just got to heard the gospel preached, which was so neat. And then the second day, it was just the kids from the orphanage. And just to hear their hunger for the Lord, like they can memorize the Bible so well. What was she teaching on when we got there the first night?
I'm not sure.
I think it was Joseph. And they were challenging the kids with homework, and they're like, well, go home or go to your room and study it and come back and tell us the answer. And I mean, those kids, they just knew the Bible so well. What else? At Patchua, the kids, it was a lot different. The kids did not know it. I taught, I started in Genesis and just kind of led up to this is why we needed the cross. And they had just started in January, that church. And so from January to there, they've learned some stories. They had learned the creation story, but then I was like, do you know any Bible verses? And they hadn't got that far. They knew the very basics, but it was a lot harder because they didn't speak English in Patchua. I actually got asked what language I was speaking there. As a lady was speaking broken English to ask me. And the kids were terrified of us there at first.
We're white people. They are. A lot of those folks over there have never seen white people in person.
I bent down to talk to this little boy, and he took off running, screaming. But they would make a game out of it. They would give us babies and watch them cry, and then they would hand us another baby. But they finally got warmed up to us, and we were able to have games with them and teach them, and it was super sweet because They need the gospel so much, and they're so hungry for it. They, they would sit at the churches all day long in these plastic chairs and just waiting to be preached to give Bibles. At the orphanage, how many Bibles did we take? Do you remember?
We took over, this is the first time that we've ever been, it cost us $200 for every 50 pounds that we take. That's what the airline charges us. And so our suitcases all weighed 49 and a half pounds to stay under the 50-pound limit. And so we have always been able to buy Bibles over there, but the Bible Society over there, for the last couple trips we've made, we weren't able to get the Bibles, and we like to give them a hardback Bible that's the whole full Bible. And so I said, hey, if we can't give them all of it, let's give them the New Testament. So I got online and I bought, I don't know how many, 200 or 300. Grant took some with him, and he took them to Patchogue and to the churches, and then we took 197 Bibles with us.
Something like that.
And when we had them lined up, I think you got them, Emma got them all fixed up and lined up and said, everybody get in line that doesn't have a Bible. Guess how many children there was in line for Bibles? 197. Exactly, wasn't it?
And the kids were so excited to get those Bibles, and they'd bring them back the next day, which we had a hard time because they didn't understand you couldn't put the Bible in the bag with the tie-dye.
We got a lot of tie-dyed Bible covers.
And then there's something, I don't know why I really felt led to read it, but I wrote this on the 4th of July after getting back. But it says, I wrote, I'm an American. I have freedom. I don't have to fear about being burnt for my faith. I don't have to fear a cult threatening my church. I'm blessed to have clean water. I don't have to fear dying from drinking the water. I have running water. I don't have to walk to the water source to fill up jugs or bring them home. I don't have to shower with a bowl on a concrete floor. I don't have a hole in the ground for a toilet. I throw away my shoes that are too small and clothes that are ripped. I have air conditioning and heat. I have a car to drive. I have blacktop roads without a lot of speed bumps. Growing up, I had enough toys to fill a store, yet there's children in Uganda who have never even had a toy. I can get a job. In Uganda, there's not jobs. I'm an American. We have government that's goal is to help the people, not take away from them. We have a police department that protects us. We don't have to call them for a favor to help us. We can get medical help even when we have no money. We know who our parents are, and most of us have loving parents. We have homes. We don't have to worry about bugs killing us. We can go to the doctor. We can get a free education. We don't have to dream about moving to America or fighting for our citizenship. I'm an American. I am blessed. I am spoilt, but I'm thankful. Lord, help me not take for granted the gifts you gave me, allowing me to be born in America. I don't know why I was really born here, but I'm forever thankful. There are people in Uganda and all over the world who physically have nothing, but they have everything because they have you, and they're so excited. Lord, pour your spirit out into them. I pray that you feed them spiritually and physically. I pray you bless them. Bless the pastors at the churches, bless the orphanages, and bless the people. Help them continue to seek you and be so hungry for you.
Did you write on? You see what a teammate I have. She is absolutely wonderful. We had so much fun, and of course we were getting to know one another. I had been with Maddie before, and so Maddie and I had already kind of gelled a little bit, but we just did the best, and that's wonderful.
We got to talk about farming, but Benny didn't like that.
We did. Maddie had no idea because she's a city girl, and so Emma and I talk. I say, Emma, look at those cows over there. Look. And she said, oh, they got big horns on them. Look at those big horns on those cows. But we just had a great time. Then I'd say, oh, Emma, look at the ears of corn on that stalk over there. So anyway, and we had a great time. The orphanage, as general, usually all orphanage over there are always in trouble. They always have a lot of needs, and things take place that are really tough on them. And just like Emma said, our government here works with us, and we're so thankful, or we don't realize how blessed we are, and so thankful to have a police department that looks out and takes care of us, and just doesn't come and snatch us up and say, all right, you figure out how to get out of jail. We also, if we go to the doctor, we can go to the emergency room and we can get in and they will work on us and fix us. When they go to the hospital there, they go in and they say, all right, if you got this wrong, that wrong, this wrong, that wrong, pay up front or you sit out there and bleed to death. And that's really bad, isn't it? And we've had that happen on a couple of cases where I've had to run and try to get money sent over there quick. One of the children took a machete and cut across the back of his hand right here, and there he was, a little guy, and they took him up there, and we didn't have any money. It cost $800 to get him sewed up. So I called Grant, and I said, Grant, we got to do something. Let's get some money over there. So anyway, so those things take place that we just take for granted here. And just like Emma said, we got hot water, we got showers, we don't have to walk. I get up this morning, my wife had my breakfast ready, and they just don't have those things over there. And it's hard for us to understand or imagine till we go over there. And that's why I say, if you want to go and learn and have your eyes opened up and see the things that God is doing with us as ambassadors for Christ over there, save your money up and go with us next July or January, either one. Let me tell you now about the orphanage. On July the 3rd, and Innocent, who is the orphanage director, is going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you first because you always can't understand everything that he says. But on July the 3rd, what happened was the government stepped in, and the orphanage, we're always limited on everything that we have there and try to be frugal with what we do have, and you're feeding 86 children. You're feeding 22 staff and employees, and then there's about 4 or 5 of the boys that work, that are farm workers there that do all the work on the farm. And then there are always children coming back as they have graduated or went ahead and got older. So there's 3 or 4 or 5. So you can imagine having to feed all of those people at least twice a day, if not 3 times a day for a month. So it costs a ton to do that. And Innocent has some kind of somebody somewhere who helps out with those things. And that's wonderful because it takes a lot of money to do those things. But anyway, the government came in on them and they said, all right, we see, gave an inspection. We see where you have 35 little girls sleeping in 12 bunks. 35 girls and 12 bunks. So some of them had 2 little girls sleeping in them. Some of them had 3 little girls. And Innocent will tell you, those are not good things for little girls over in those countries or for anybody anywhere, because our children here all sleep one child, one bed. So anyway, they said, look, if you don't get something done by August the 5th, then we're going to shut this thing down. We're going to shut you down. We're going to disperse all the kids out to wherever we can get them out to, and we're going to shut the orphanage down. So they called me, and I said, man, we don't got any money. And so I had a little bit of money that I was going to send over for a motorbike for them to have over there. And I said, okay, let's reroute that money. Then I ended up that church, your all's church, had given me some money, and I had been divvying it out a little bit at a time. So I called Randy, and Randy said, okay, you still got this money here. We'll add a little bit to it. And so I sent those monies over there. And I said, all right. So you will see it sometime or another. I don't know when she's going to play it or not. But what we did was Innocent got all the children together, and they went. They told them the building had to be 28 foot wide and 83 foot long, which is about the length of this, but not hardly as wide. And it was going to be able to house 35 little girls with bunk beds and everything in it, and they had to have 4 foot between every bunk, every bed. So anyway, they got all the children together, and they got out there. You'll see it in a little bit. They got out there, and they got around on a whole building site, and they sang and they prayed to the Lord, that the Lord would open things up and give them a way to build a building, and that the orphanage would continue to be there. And so anyway, that's what spawned off from this thing, and it is still working. We have, you all will see the walls. You'll see how from July the 3rd, it took them about 3 to 4 days to get it, and all of a sudden rocks started being hauled in. Then they hired Julius. Uncle Julius is the pastor of the Cornerstone Church there. He has built all 4 churches. He is a really good Christian man who loves the Lord, and he's got a crew of men, and just like I say, he's built all 4 churches that we've got over there now for Unreached 4K. And now They went to him and they said, can you give us a bid on it? We got 2 bids. One of them was $58,000. And I said, gosh, we don't got, that's a lot of money. So Julius gave us a bid of like 7,000. And then we sat down and got the idea. The Julius said, if you will just pay my men every day, because this is day labor now. All those people got to be paid every day. If not, they don't eat, because they have to have the money for the food for the next day. And so anyway, he said, if you'll do that, and then you all, us as SASCU, if you all will foot the bill for all of the materials, then I'll do it for this amount, and we'll make it go. And so that's what we're doing right now, and you'll see those things that are happening right now. And only with God's guidance and grace and blessing, and if God's in it and God wants it to happen, I promise you it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And so anyway, you're going to see what's going on with it. It's almost unreal. When these men come to work in the morning, they don't come in hard hats and steel-toed shoes and those yellow shirts with the stripes on them or anything. They got on short breeches and flip-flops and half tore-off T-shirts and a big hoe. They have a big hoe. That's what they get. That's their tools. And those guys got in there and they dug that foundation for that thing with those big hoes. In 2 days, it was dug 80 foot all the way around. And so anyway, it's things that we just don't understand. We've not ever done that. It's like back in the 1700s when they didn't have, all the concrete was poured. It's all bag concrete. There's no concrete trucks over there. Everything is poured by bag. They bring it out there either in a bag or they'll bring a big dump truck. They bring it out there and they dump it and they mix every bit of it by hand. So it's really, really tough, and they do lots and lots and lots of hard work. I don't think I could do those things anymore. I done got too old. But anyway, you'll see some of those things in here. Are we ready now? Y'all ready? That video?
And other saints from Mount Pleasant Church. Warm greetings from Providence Farm in Ruwelo, Kakabala. Thank you so much for what you have made possible through our ministry. Your partnership is more than just the financial support. It's a lifeline of hope to the children that call Providence Farm their forever home. It's an assurance that they are visible, loved, and not alone. Because of your partnership, lives are being transformed every day.
This is living.
Today, I'm reaching out to you to sincerely thank you for the financial support that you have extended to us towards the construction of the girls' dormitory. As you know, earlier this year, the government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Labor and Social Development, made an inspection at our Providence Farm facility, and unfortunately, they got to realize that our children were overcrowded, especially on the side of our girls. They got to know that almost 3 girls were sharing one bed, which was against the law, and not only against the law alone, but also it was not good for the well-being of our girls. The government officials tasked SASCU to take immediate effect to resolve the concern or else face closure. What we had envisioned as a long-time construction plan, eventually it became an emergency mission that needed immediate solution. By faith, we began the construction of the new girls' dormitory, and because of your partnership and the generosity of other donors like you and the support from the local businesses, the construction has been progressing very well. The foundation has been completed, and as I speak right now, the brick walls have been constructed to the ring beam level. But we are not done. We are still in need of your prayers, your support, that we may be able to continue to build to completion of this new girls' dormitory.
This is living. This is living.
Once again, today you have an opportunity, you and the saints from Mount Pleasant Church, to continue building on what you have already started. We are currently still trusting God for your prayers and for your financial support to see that the construction of our girls' dormitory is fully completed and able to accommodate our 35 young girls. Your partnership is more than just bricks and mortar. It is a refuge. It is a fresh start for our girls who have already endured a lot. Together, let's do it for Jesus and also for our girls. From the bottom of our hearts, I want to say thank you so much and may God bless you.
Well, tell me just a little bit about being able to teach a little bit.
So also at the orphanage, we were able to go into the classrooms and teach for, well, twice. And we got to choose what grade we wanted. Or they don't call them grades. I don't remember what. Do you remember?
No, I don't know. Sorry.
But it's just they group them by age. And I chose the younger kids and Maddie chose the older kids. And she was able to teach, she is a dentist hygienist, so she was able to teach them about dentistry and just how to care for their teeth. And then I went in there and taught a little bit about fractions. I had just finished an elementary education class about fractions. But they were so, I'd be like, you know how to do this? And they're so confident, but then they did not, of course. And then I was not able to leave the classroom because the teacher kept finding me more things to do. I ended up making them a worksheet and grading all the worksheets. And then the second day, well, Eddie went in there. You're going to tell about what you taught about?
I don't know, what did I think about?
You taught about farming, I think?
Oh, yeah. I got Miss Dorothy, which I know from Emma didn't know anybody. And so she was in a learning curve of learning all the teachers. Where I've been over there several times, I knew. So I picked out Miss Dorothy, and she had little bitty ones. And so anyway, so I was teaching about farming the whole time, about cows and horses and tractors and whatnot. And of course, they didn't have a clue what I was talking about with tractors because they never even seen a tractor before. So anyway, may not, but anyway, that's what I taught on. So I got out of there pretty quick. They ended up teaching for quite a while.
And then do you want us to talk about the wheelchair real quick?
Yeah. Put that in there.
At Vacation Bible School the first day, there was this lady who had talked to Innocent, the owner of the orphanage, and she had two special needs children, one who could not walk, and she was not verbal at all, and then one she could not make words, but she was verbal, like making sound. And this lady had carried the youngest, who is 40 pounds, on her back 3 miles to get to Vacation Bible School. And this is just how she's done it her whole life. And we were face painting, and Innocent came over and asked me if I would pray with this lady. I think her name was Lou. We got their names.
I don't remember her name.
And I was able to pray with her, but she didn't speak English, so Innocent was kind of translating for me. And she had spoken about how she really needs something to help with her little girl. It's just so much carrying her around, of course, 40 pounds on her back. And it's not like normal roads. They have dirt roads with a lot of holes. And so I went over to Eddie to talk about if we could buy a wheelchair, and we went the next day to Kampala, which is how many hours away?
Yeah, it's about 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours, which they actually had to take a boda into the city because we couldn't even get there. And so it's like a motorcycle, and they put the wheelchair on the motorcycle. And so we were able to deliver the following day, and that was the most grateful lady that you'll ever meet. She would say thank you, which it wasn't in our language, kissing hands. They bowed down to say thank you, which is not something we were crazy about, but that's just kind of their culture. And she kept bowing down, saying thank you. She probably said thank you 100 times, and that little girl you saw in the video was so happy. And her older sister, who also has special needs, came running and pushed that wheelchair. We were just so happy to get the wheelchair. Mm-hmm. And then we were able to get a wheelchair for a lady. Mm-hmm. Sanya. Mm-hmm. And Patchwa, after we left, who was paralyzed since birth.
She had her right leg was turned totally around backwards, wasn't it? And this woman, she was Pastor Joffrey's sister. She walked on, she had flip-flops on her hands, and she crawled everywhere she went. She had big pads on her knee, pones, where she had, that's the way she had been her whole life.
And she was probably in her 40s, maybe,
Yeah,
at least.
she's probably in her 40s.
And that's just the way she lived. But she actually was on the worship team there, so it was really neat to see that. And,
Yeah.
like, even in that state, they're still praising God so much. And that's so much we can learn from them doing that.
Mm-hmm. So we ended up through the Tony Erickson Cantata project. They ended up sending the lady over to the Loera district, and they were gonna, if they could, they were gonna do surgery and take that leg and turn it around. But being, I guess she was born that way, they couldn't do anything with it. So what they did was they bought her a brand new wheelchair, and she'd never seen a wheelchair before. And I guess I forgot to get that in on Maddie because I had it. So I mean, she was so happy. Oh man, she was tickled to death because this woman had been crawling her whole life, which is really sad. What else? We got anything else?
Do you want to show her PowerPoint real quick? I think they're playing it.
Oh, okay, you got it up there? Yeah. These are the children. These are the children out at the building site. And what they're doing is they got all the children and all the staff out there, and they got them all around in a circle out there. And they sang around. I don't know if that's in there or not, but they sang and they prayed all over this building and asking the Lord to bless the building and for the purpose of it to house these children. That's innocent there. Yeah, there they are. There they are. But they did that. Now there's the where they dug the foundation. They started on that with those big holes, and they got that all dug out and cleaned out. And then they came in with big dump trucks full of rocks, big heavy rocks, and they put those in there to lighten up on the concrete. So they poured all the concrete around all those big boulders in there. We would pour that solid through there. Their building code is not quite what ours is over there. you guys could see. And then now there's the several courses of brick that they've got on, and there they are. They're still working, and they've got some of the floor that has been. They put gravel all in there, and they've got the floor in there poured some, and they've got it up all the way. It's the last one. It's over their head now. They're getting ready to put the windows and the doors in. That's the next thing. And nothing over there can be in wood in those buildings. Everything has to be metal. All the windows are metal framed. All the doors are metal. Everything over there, because the termites eat everything up. So they have to do it all out of metal. But that's the progress that has been made since probably about July the 5th. With there's 6 guys working, and Julius, but there it is. It's the tall part there. But there's 6 guys working, and just like I say, they worked and did all that with hose. They've done that in those days right there. And we had some days that the guys wouldn't come to work because we didn't have any money. And I told them, I said, we'll do something. We got to do something. So I ended up, my neighbors out there and got together. So we sent some money over there. And so that way it got the men paid because we don't understand here. If they don't take money home at night, their wife can't get, or their family doesn't have any food. And so they said, if we're not going to get paid, we're not going to work. So anyway, so we got that. So we're that far along with it right now. And what a miracle, what a blessing from the Lord to have that done, in this 20-some days. We need your prayers. we need your support. We need your prayers, because it all started with prayers. And you saw that out there when they all got together and they prayed over it. And if God's got a hand in it and it's His will and His desire, it will happen. And it's right now, it's working right now. You can see those things. On what little dab of money we got those things going. And I just know in my heart, as time goes on, and we may not get it done in the next few days or the next few weeks or maybe the next few months, but we're going to get that thing going. And God's got His plan for what it's going to do for all those children there at the farm. So we need your prayers. As much as we need financial support, we need your prayers. And it's still going to cost quite a bit more, because all they've got is the walls up now. We've still got to put ceilings in it. And see, most of the place, this has to be built better because it's the government is controlling it. Most of the buildings over there don't have ceilings in them. I mean, they have roofs on them, but they don't have ceilings in them. So we got to put ceilings in it. We got to put tile all over the floor on top of that. There won't be any water in the building because all water's outside. We already got the bathrooms and everything built for them year before last year. We got all that done. So we got all those things to go. Got to put a roof on it. And I'm not sure what else, but there won't be any electricity in it either, because they don't have any electric there. And they have it at the orphanage, but they don't have it in any of the buildings much. And in the classrooms, they had one little light down, wasn't it? They had one little light in there in case it's raining or dark or something. But anyway, we need your prayers, your supporting prayers, and God will handle it. If we get things going and we do the planning, God will give the increase. That's what He tells us. I'll give the increase. You just make it happen. You just get going and get going with it. You got anything else? Mm-mm. Thank you all so much for your love and your kindness and your sharing, and for your just your love is just abounding with everything that y'all have given. Because Grant at the 11 o'clock service, he's going to talk a little bit more about the Patchwa Church and what's going on over there. There are up of 200 people already coming to that church over there. That you all foot the bill for that thing. Just think what that is to people who don't know anything about Jesus, didn't know what the word Jesus was. So anyway, thank you all for letting us come and share this morning, and for your love and your kindness and your generosity. Thank you so much.
Well, I woke up this morning and I told Janet, I said, I don't really have a scripture to give you, Janet, in closing. I'm just praying about that, but one verse kept on my mind, and that's Romans 1:16, and it says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God to set men free. And I want you to think about something for a minute, because, the Bible, all things are good. The things we do are good. And the Bible says this is truly religion, James 1:27, to take care of the widows and orphans. This is what God considers religion. And so that's good work, and I love to see that. But the main thing's the main thing, and that's to take the gospel to the people of the world, because that's the only hope they got, right? That's the only hope they got, and that's the only hope you got. And so we're just going to open up the altar this morning. And there's all kinds of things to pray about. And there's a lot of work left uncompleted over there. There's a lot of work left uncompleted here. But there's something I just got on my mind. I got to tell you this. Man, I preached a funeral this week, and I called a few people to have them pray for me before I went. And I said, I'm going to preach a funeral. I've preached a bunch of them. But I don't want to get up there and yee y'all about somebody that's dead and gone. I just want to tell them people in this room that the only hope you got is Jesus. And if you ain't got Him, you ain't got no hope at all. And this morning, I hope you understand that, because I love you like crazy. But if you ain't got Jesus, you got no hope at all. And if we got Jesus, we got hope that the world can't take away. We got a reason to sing that you'll never not have. If you didn't wake up this morning with a reason to sing, then get Jesus, and you'll have one in the morning. Right? We're going to have we're going to have an invitation hymn here, and we're just going to have a time to come to the altar. But I want to tell you this, if you don't know for sure that the Holy Spirit lives in you, if you don't understand the reason that somebody that's got nothing has to sing, I'd like to tell you about Him. His name is Jesus, and He died for you on the cross so you could have eternal life. And we got people living with everything that are miserable, while people that's got nothing are joyful. and the difference is Jesus. And so if you don't know who Jesus is, I'd love to tell you about him. But I'm just going to bow around right here, and I'm just going to thank God for what he's done, because I know the work he's done is through him. And so I just want you to take this time. I just want you right now, I want you to just pray that God's work would continue to be done at Mount Pleasant, over there at the orphanage, and at all the churches that's being built and everywhere. So just, I don't know what song we're going to sing in the invitation.